Hi, my name is Suela. I'm a biotechnologist by profession. Um, Fermentation, microbiology, winemaking, quality in wine, and organoleptic evaluation in wine are my expertise, and I'm owner of Suela Wines. So today I'm going to talk. Forgot to mention, I'm passionate about wine, and that is why I'm doing what I'm doing, and that is why I'm bringing you content relative to wine. So today I decided to talk briefly about the benefits of drinking wine, right? So we've had it. I'm not a doctor. Disclaimer, I'm not a doctor. So this is based on pure research that I've done. Research that was done by other organizations and having that content in terms of articles published around health and wine. So we've all heard it, about how healthy wine is. But do we really understand what is the meaning of that? How and why is wine considered to be amongst the healthiest beverages to drink, especially in the line of alcohol? So there are a couple of things, but before I discuss a couple of those health benefits that wine has got to offer, is to understand the reason why wine is healthy. So it is due to a certain polyphenols. So this is just a scientific term that is used to describe this compound. So this specific compound, it's actually found in plants. So plants use this compound to fight against bacteria and fungi, right? So plants use this specific compound to protect themselves against microorganisms that could potentially destroy them. So it's like an immune booster for plants. Nah? So, and this compound occurs naturally on grapes, or found on the grapes. Not only on grapes, but you can also find it in blackberries. So if you don't drink wine, or you don't drink alcohol, or you're just not a huge fan of wine in particular, it's still okay to eat grapes, to eat blackberries. It's still the same thing. So it's just much nicer when you can actually drink wine. And this particular compound that I'm talking about, it's called resveratrol. So this is the key to all the health benefits in wine. So, but how does it do that? So it helps our immune systems, our immune system fight off certain infections in our bodies, right? Isn't that cool? So by just drinking 1 to 2 glasses of wine a day, it can actually help you with a couple of health benefits that I will be talking about briefly. So that's really amazing, especially if you're a wine lover, to know that just by taking or drinking 1 glass of wine, 2 glasses of wine, it's actually part of your health diet. It's really amazing. I think, that's one reason why we should all be enjoying a glass of wine, at least each day. So amongst many reasons why we should be drinking red wine, there are a couple of known reasons why we should be drinking wine and how we can benefit by just drinking a glass of wine. So I need to just take a first sip because I didn't do that. So, but I hope you guys are enjoying yourselves at home and being safe and protecting yourselves against this horrible disease that we are faced with. So how can you benefit though? So we know that, for example, drinking a glass of red wine, or not necessarily red wine, but drinking wine while you're enjoying a meal. So drinking wine during dinner, it helps us digest our food. It also helps us to increase the appetite. So it's more like a appetizer. So it also, just makes the meal more enjoyable. Apart from that, it's also what is this, man? It makes conversations flow around the table. Also makes you sleep better at night, just the same way warm milk would do. But more than that, it can help to reduce the risk of getting diabetes type 2. Isn't that amazing? Because we know some people with these diseases are actually, they have higher chances. So having a glass of wine a day can help you to reduce the risk of getting that kind of a disease. And then it also, most importantly, helps reduce the risk of getting cancer. So when we speak of cancer, we also include prostate cancer and various different kinds of cancers that we can get. So it does help to reduce the chances of you getting cancer, and it also reduces the chances of getting cholesterol, or it reduces the chances of increasing the cholesterol levels. It also helps with bone intensity. It also helps with reducing the chances of getting blood clot. So it reduces blood clotting, or it prevents blood clotting. The other thing is it also helps, it also promotes longevity, which means that you can live longer when you drink 1 to 2 glasses of red wine a day. For some people, they've also said that it helps with, making your skin look much younger. So I guess it's part of longevity. So those are a couple of things. Some people have also mentioned that it can help you maintain your body weight. So those are just a couple of reasons why we should be drinking wine, and a couple of health benefits that we can get by just drinking wine. So like I said, I'm not a doctor, so this is based on pure research and reading articles that have been published by other health specialists and around wine. So, but also, please, let's be careful not to overindulge in wine. So there is a thin line between you enjoying wine and you over drinking and abusing alcohol. So it's recommended that for women we drink at least 1. I think 2, we can push it for 2. 1 glass, 2 glasses of red wine, or not red wine specifically, but of wine a day. And then for men, it's 2 to 3 glasses of wine a day. So this is not necessarily to say that people should stop drinking other beverages. This is just to say, hey, there is more to wine than just getting drunk. There is more to wine than just being seen as an alcoholic beverage. So even though you're not a wine consumer, you can still stick to your normal other products, but still be able to get 1 or 2 glasses of wine, mainly for the health purposes that come with moderately consuming wine, right? So I hope that you guys found this content exciting. I think this is like exciting, just to know about a couple of reasons why we should be drinking wine, and how and what actually makes wine so helpful. Hey Noxie, yes. So anyways, that would be it for me for the day, and I'm just gonna do because I do this throughout all the social media platforms that we have. So I have to do this, and then I have to rush to another media platform and do the same video again. So that's why I have to rush and go, so I can continue with the other things in my life as well. Yes, that's true. Mapule, hi, thank you. Yeah, no, that's true. So I'm glad you know. So I would expect you to be drinking more wine, or at least to be drinking some wine in your life. So I'm gonna wrap this up with a little bit of how you can evaluate the quality of your wine. I always do this as part of my video sessions, simply because for so many reasons, but I'm just going to quickly do it. How you can evaluate the quality of your wine, easy at home. This is just for wine beginners. So first thing first, you need to be able to know what to look out for. So you look at the wine, looking at the color, the clarity, you smell the wine, and you taste the wine. So when you're looking at the wine in terms of color and clarity, you need to make sure that the wine is as clear as possible. So if your wine is cloudy or it has some haziness, it could be an indication that the wine has protein instability, and that is why it's looking cloudy and it has this haziness. Yes, Narcisse, how are you? It does help you sleep better. It does. So, but yeah, So anyways, and then you also have to look at the color of the wine. The color of the wine can give us an indication of how old or young the wine is. It's important to note that red wines tend to lose their color as they age, and then white wines tend to be brighter as they age. So if you know the difference between a Pinot Noir and a Cabernet Sauvignon, you're most likely to make a guess in terms of looking at the color. The color can also give us an indication of the type of grape that was used. Like I said, if you know how a Cabernet looks like and how a Pinot Noir looks like, you're able to make that particular guess. And I also mentioned the age. So red wines, they lose their color as they age, and white wines become more brighter as they age. So that's just a couple of things that you can tell from looking at your wine. So hi Salome. Can you please leave me your number so that I can just put your order down so we can deliver as soon as the lockdown is done. That's how you can place the order. So there's also this other thing. It's not really important because I believe that the fact looking at the legs, which is also the viscosity of the wine, I feel that it's not necessary, but some people believe in doing that. So this is just like something on the side that you can look at, and that goes, you can see the liquid on the side. This is just the alcohol. So basically it can give you an indication of the amount of alcohol that your wine has, but not necessarily. So some people believe that the more legs the wine has, the better quality, but I know that the legs actually are a pure representation of the body of your wine, and obviously involving the viscosity of the alcohol. So it's more to do with the alcohol and the body of this particular wine. Hi Notanda, no, my wines are not vegan. They are not vegan. So yeah, we'll think about that in the later stage. Maybe when we're more established and we can incorporate vegan wines. So at the moment, no. So anyways, and then also what you want to do now, you want to smell your wine. But before you smell your wine, you need to swirl the wine. So as you swirl the wine, there are a couple of compounds such as ethanol and sulfites that get exposed into the air. These are the things that you don't want to smell. So it's good that you actually do this. So because they are volatile compounds, so they will easily be exposed to the air. They will easily evaporate. In fact, that would be the right word. And more than that, it will give you an opportunity to smell the wine. So to smell the fruitiness of the wine, to smell, without being disturbed by those other things, because sulfites in wine can give the wine a pure smell of rotten egg, and then ethanol can give the wine a pure smell of a medicinal smell. So these things are the things that are actually present in the wine. We add sulfurs in the wine to protect the wine. So ethanol is produced because we're producing wine. So they are naturally occurring. They are part of the wine, but it's not what you want to smell as soon as you swirl your wine and as soon as you nose your wine. So also, like I said, the fact that your aromas now will be given priority in terms of smell as they evaporate into the air as well. So when you do this, when you smell the wine, it's important to just think about the cleanliness of the wine. So the wine needs to smell as clean as possible. The wine needs to smell fresh. It needs to smell healthy. So if it does not give you the impression that it's, clean, it's fresh, it's healthy, you shouldn't be drinking the wine, because what could happen is that you might be able to pick up off odors. So if you're picking any off odors in the wine, please don't drink the wine. It could be an indication that the wine is faulty. So off odors would be anything like I mentioned: rotten egg, wet cupboard, matches, what is that, man? That thing, I don't know if it's mercury or what, but in line to that, the medicinal flavor, those kind of flavors those kind of smells are an indication of faulty wine. So also sometimes a faulty wine might lack fruitiness, so it might lack, it might just not smell like anything. So that could be also an indication that the wine has undergone, an oxidation. So those are a couple of things that you can look out for. But again, You can also think about the fruit. What does the wine remind you of when you smell the wine? Is there anything in particular that you can associate the aromas of the wine with? And this will always be anything that you have encountered, anything that you're familiar with in terms of smell. We all smell different kinds of things in wine, so it will all depend on what we are familiar with, what do we know. So it's only when we know how certain things smell that we can link that with the aromas of the wine. So if you do not know what it is that you're smelling in the wine, it's fine. So please consider that there are 3 categories where your aromas can be derived from. So we don't add any flavor additives into the wine. Those aromas and flavors are naturally occurring, and they can be derived from 3 things in winemaking or in the wine. So the first one would be the flavors and the aromas can be derived from the grapefruit itself. And then it's all flavors and aromas that have to do with fruit. And if you're thinking about red wine, think about red fruit flavors. Think about anything red, anything dark in color as a fruit. If you're looking at a white wine, think about anything citrus. Think about anything tropical. So that's how you can easily pick up the flavors and identify the flavors in the wine. So if it's not fruity and perhaps you're getting a hint of something else that is not so fruity, it can be that the wine can have some buttery flavors to it. Buttery flavors are basically derived from a secondary fermentation, which is common in red wines and also Chardonnays, and also a very common way of producing champagne. So it does sometimes leave yeasty undertones. So that's just how you can categorize different flavors and aromas. So the other one would be due to the aging process. So it will be flavors and aromas that are derived from American oak or French oak, and there will be any aromas and flavors such as your vanilla, your cocoa, your smokiness in the wine. No, it's the other one. There are a couple of things that you can smell. Chocolate. So on and so on and so on and so on. Cigar, those kind of aromas or those kind of notes, tasting notes. So basically that's where your wine can get certain aromas and flavors. But like I said, if you're not able to identify or pinpoint exactly what kind of flavors you're picking up from the wine, it's not a big deal. Just use a simple description of what you're getting. Just say the wine is fruity. Just say the wine is earthy. Let's just say the wine is oaky. You know what I mean? So that's just how you can simply define, the aromas and the flavors that the wine has. So, but because most importantly, I always believe that more than anything, wine takes practice and it's an acquired skill. So we learn over time. So every time we need to be able to learn, read, taste, and think. That is the whole idea about tasting wine, drinking wine, and exploring wines and appreciating wines, right? Because not every 2 bottles can never be the same, okay? So it's just a journey. It's a continuous journey. So the other thing is, now you want to taste your wine, right? So I just want to say that the most important things to learn about the 3 processes that you do or senses that you use is that each and every one has got limitations. When we're looking at our wines, we are not specifically able to identify flavors. See where we're going? To identify flavors, we're not able to, we can only see, but we can't see flavors, right? Then we go to the smell part. When we smell, it's not always the case that we can identify taste, but we can smell it. So then we go to the taste part. Because we need to identify these fruits. We need to know what is in here. But we couldn't have been able to identify the whole flavors and aromas of the wine without we can smell aromas, but we can't taste certain things. We can't smell sweetness. We can't smell, body. We can't smell texture. See, like, so that's why each and every part of the tasting steps is important. It's complementary. Now, when you taste your wine, let's just remember that when we taste wine, we're only able to taste acidity, taste sweetness, and taste saltiness. What's the other one? Bitterness. So those are the 4 components that we have on our taste buds. But we also need to make sure that when we taste our wine, we cover the entire tongue, right? Because of the different sections in our tongue. So, but the most important thing when you taste your wine, yes, make sure that you identify the flavors. If the same flavors and aromas are occurring now when you taste your wine, that means that the flavors are, well, yeah, the flavors follow through to your palate. If not, sometimes it's something that you also want. You can still identify the same way you did with identify the flavors when you were nosing it. Then also, you need to ask yourself about the sweetness of the wine. How do you feel about the sweetness of the wine? How do you feel about the acidity of the wine? And how do you feel about the alcohol content in the wine? So how do you feel about the body of the wine? Like, is it heavy? Is it light? Is it medium? How do you feel about the tannins in the wine? Is it a tannic wine? Are there tannins at all? So these are the questions. Tannins are mostly to occur in red wine. So if they are, describe the tannins. Are they low, medium, high? Are they soft? Are they harsh? Remember, tannins is that feeling you get that dries your middle of your tongue, and then it's also that bitterness you get in your wine. So think about such things, think about, also I did mention sweetness. Think about the balance. Do you feel like all the components in the wine are balanced? Because it's important that the wine has, gives you a sense of balance in the wine. So most wines that are not balanced are a pure indication of bad quality wine, which is something you don't want to be drinking. So yeah, I think that's it. Well, for beginners. And just to do a simple evaluation, because at the end of the day, it's about the quality of the wine, which we can't compromise. It's about you enjoying the wine, and it's about you appreciating wine and having a great time while you're doing it. So, and then as soon as you're done with your 3-step evaluation, you want to make a conclusion. Do you like the wine? I like the wine. So if you like the wine, thumbs up. If you don't like the wine, thumbs down. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys will continue to have a wonderful day further. So yeah, thank you. Cheers.